Hey guys, welcome back to Filter Coffee Footy. Here to talk about a not so impressive result. Well, a successive not so impressive result for Arsenal. 2-1 loss to Everton. Um, I don't know. I only saw this match in patches. I wanted to go back and watch the highlights, but I couldn't get myself to to watch it. There was just so much going on. It's just a really bad loss. Lots of things being said after the match as well, by Arsenal players. Everton again, just like Manchester United, club in trouble. We go there. They manage to pick up a win, a nice little bounce for them, something to look forward to again for them. Just so tired of Arsenal being the team that these
Gifts,
other
three
teams.
points.
Exactly, right. um, let's start with the first and biggest problem that this match had was just really bad game management, really bad personnel management, and obviously the blame should go to the manager in this case, Mikel Arteta. Chose to start Lacazette. I think that was the right move. Aubameyang was not in the right kind of form, not really doing much, missing lots of sitters. Like I think three sitters over the last 4 or 5 matches. Um, so good, right decision, I guess, to start Lacazette. And then we did get the first goal. We did go up a goal and just took the foot off the gas pedal. I mean, if anything,
Absolutely.
Arsenal should learn that they are not the kind of team that can hold on to a 1-0 lead. And that was plenty apparent as the match went on. So yeah, what's your take? Like, let's start with the Odegaard comments, right? Please take it from there.
I mean, Odegaard himself acknowledged that we should have killed off the game, and we didn't. We didn't turn the screws as we were expected to. Even Mikel said that. I was surprised with Mikel saying it because hey, you are the problem. You did those substitutions which were not probably necessary. I mean, why would you bring in a Eddie Nketiah? Or was your were you arm twisted into bringing him on? Because I think this is also the board playing with Mikel, asking him to make give Nketiah minutes so that he can sign his contract and then you can sell him for some money, whatever the fluff that is. It's the board and Mikel at fault there. I didn't fancy Nketiah start coming on as a sub over Aubameyang or Nicola Pepe for that matter.
Uh,
And yeah,
yeah, and that's the other thing, right? Where it's a tense match. It's not like you're winning. It's not like you're coasting. That was not the right kind of situation to bring a player on who's barely had any game time so far. And it's not like we were creating bucket loads of chances. To his credit, he did get on the end of a cross, just missed. I mean, he could have easily been the hero of the match. Unfortunately, his luck wasn't up for it. Arsenal's luck wasn't up for it. So I don't want to be too harsh on that decision, but I agree where you don't want to bring a player on who you know is not in the long term plans of the club anyway. Even if you would have scored at that point, what then? You're going to give him a bigger contract? What was the end goal in that situation going to be? So that decision was bad both in like the short term thinking of it and the long term thinking of it as well. So I don't know why that ended up being factored in. And then the other thing was not like you took Tierney off before he finished the 90, but you gave Xhaka the full game. Xhaka was a guy on the yellow card, and quite possibly he was one of the reasons why we did concede that last goal. Because, like you mentioned, he could have made an early tackle, probably picked up a second yellow for that one. But at that point, you should have known to take Xhaka off and get in a fresh player who is A, not booked, and B, has more legs in him to kind of finish through the rest of the match. And maybe we would not have conceded that goal at that point. So that was another decision that I wasn't completely on board with. Typically, you do see that when you're bringing in an injured player, if he's starting the match, you're typically not going to
he
give him the
doesn't
full
play the
90,
90.
especially if
Exactly.
it's a midfield position, which is very demanding on the pitch. So I didn't understand what that decision was about either. Definitely missed Emil Smith Rowe, his presence in this match.
True that.
So Hopefully he'll be back for the next match, and we should see an uptick. But two losses on the bounce, and then Thomas Partey, who is supposedly our mainstay in midfield, comes out and makes the kind of comments that he does. Where I kind of know where you stand in this position, but do you think it's time to bench him? Just give him some time off the pitch.
Maybe. So I mean, okay, I I commend your self-awareness wherein you say that, oh, my performances have been a 4 out of 10 since he's joined the club. But then immediately after that, you can't really drop in a 2 out of 10 performance, right? There was a point in that pitch where there was a point in the game where the commentators actually showed at the post game where there was a throw in where Thomas actually comes in for that throw in where he wasn't necessary. And then he leaves out a whole pocket of space which Everton exploited. And this is something that you have to understand, that you can't leave pockets of space just to like defend a throw in or defend a weird set piece. I can understand if you're going in full blooded for a challenge, but as a midfielder, you have to be more aware about the space behind you rather than just look at the ball. That's what makes you the central midfielder, right? You are responsible for a lot many things apart from winning the ball back. You have to realize you're not breaking the positional play or giving them lots of space to run into. I think that is maybe, I don't want to say it's naivety because A, he's 27 years old, and B, he has played in a well-drilled Atletico Madrid side. It's not as if he was playing in a totally weird team. So I'm super critical of Thomas Partey right now, but maybe that's just me being sour over the results as well. But
What do you see the solution as, though? I mean, Partey clearly has a very, very well defined role in the team. He's kind of has a niche position, but we don't really have any depth. So, do you propose benching him, or do you propose maybe going to a three-man midfield? Like, what's the solution in this situation?
a three-man midfield will then need to have Martin Odegaard on the bench. We might lose out on our number 10 because Odegaard can't really function as the flat three-man midfield position, or probably as a central midfielder if along with Thomas, because that was an experiment that didn't work out well.
Mm-hmm.
And who do we have there? Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And although we have Elneny, but let's just agree to the fact that he's not technically as competent as we need Elneny to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think going with a flat three midfield will help. What might help is what something you suggested, that is maybe some time off. But again, what does that time off mean? And time off, especially during Christmas.
And then who comes in his place? Because Lokonga is really good, but trusting the defensive responsibilities to Granit Xhaka is probably not the most astute move. And Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I mean, I like him, but again, I don't see him being as the kind of defensive linchpin that the team needs. I mean, I go back to this. I don't like going back to this, but come on, man. We should have just kept Lucas Torreira, and he absolutely built for that role. Could have really grown into that position more and more. Again, a young player as well. So I don't know. I mean, he has for me. I mean, Guendouzi obviously had attitude problems, but Lucas Torreira for me has always been like the honest, driven player who can really be a strong part of the team going forward. But anyway, spilt milk.
Probably not built.
Yeah.
Not built for the league.
Yeah.
I also wanted to touch on our attack or lack of intent to attack, where we just seem to like hold off as soon as we score a goal. It's like we turn the ignition off, or maybe we start driving in economy mode when you have a full tank of gas and you've got to reach somewhere else. I mean, yes, I understand. Okay, it's great to drive in economy mode and things like that, but come on, sometimes you have to floor the pedal. It's as simple as that. You just have to go that extra yard.
And then there's also obviously the aspect of, can you drive in economy? I mean, Liverpool, Manchester City, they have the personnel to be able to hold possession and really just kill a game. They can hold on to a 1-0 lead all day long for the most part. Arsenal don't have the kind of personnel to really hold on to possession and dictate terms in a game. They really work better when they're trying to attack, when they're trying to be fluid. They're not The team is just not geared towards a more, sustained possession, slow, boring sort of style. They're just not
And
built
that's
that
the
way.
Arsenal identity, right? It has been the Arsenal identity wherein
Exactly.
they've always been progressive and free flowing. And free flowing has always been with the attacking side, not just recycling possession a la City or Liverpool or even
Yeah.
Chelsea for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, even Chelsea are able to do that really, really effectively. Yeah, next up, we go to another troubled side, Southampton. I almost don't want to know what happens in that match. Southampton struggling with their own results now. Not in a bad position in any way. Still completely safe in the league. I don't think anybody expects them to hit Europe or anything of that sort. But they have been in a slump over the last few fixtures. So Southampton fans and Hasenhüttl definitely will be hoping for an uptake, a win or a draw. And Arsenal, given the form of the teams around them, cannot afford to get a draw.
Slip up.
We need 3 points. If anything, we need three wins in the next three fixtures to get us back into that top four race. Because at this point, the way things stand, with Spurs, if they win the match in hand, which again is against Southampton, against Burnley, that was postponed, they will be in the top four. West Ham are still doing great stuff. They just got an amazing win against Chelsea. United are probably going to be resurgent under a new manager. It's going to be tough to contend into that top four spots if you don't win the kind of matches that we need to win. Like the matches like Everton that we needed to win against United, a weak United with a poor morale. We need to win those matches. Yeah. Let's end with predictions for the Southampton match. Where do you see us ending? Where do you see us going with that one? And any hot takes for the fixture?
I don't want to go with hot take, honestly. I just want to say we'll win it, maybe by a 1 goal margin, because that's how we've been playing recently. That's all I can think of. We'll win by a 1 goal margin.
Yeah, I agree. I think Southampton will be like a 2-1 win. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet again against this Southampton attack, because they definitely have good fire going forward. They've just not been able to defend that well. I hope Emil Smith Rowe is back. If he's back, Arsenal win all day long. Yeah, that was our take for another disappointing result for Arsenal in successive match days. Like, share, subscribe. Not gonna have too much energy today, but yeah. Thank you so much for joining, and stay posted, and see you soon. Take care. Bye.
On to the next. Bye bye.